Well done. Welcome back, everybody, and welcome, Ben, again to a Monday fantastic acoustic paradiso on Andertons TV. And today, our very special guest is this new Yamaha THR30 guitar amplifier, which Yamaha have redesigned now, especially to work with acoustic guitars.
The world's foremost desktop acoustic amp.
Absolutely.
Reverb, yeah.
So I'm a big fan of Yamaha THR. I've had a THR10 Mark I forever and ever and ever,
yeah.
And I was lucky enough to get given a THR30 by Yamaha for the electric guitar when it first came out, and I've used that a lot. It's a hugely popular guitar amplifier in just the world of guitar amplifiers, because I think not only the history behind THR was originally it was a collaboration between Yamaha Audio, the hi-fi division, and Yamaha Music, the guitar division, to try and take some of the technology that Yamaha Audio were working on sound bars and this idea of big stereo imaged and making huge cinematic sounds out of little boxes to use at low volumes. And they kind of introduced that into the guitar world, super popular. And of course, one of the things that has been so enduringly popular with this is they kind of don't really look like a traditional guitar amplifier. So you can have one of these at home or on your desk, and it just looks like a cool music player. It doesn't look like a dirty big guitar amplifier. So for those of you familiar with THR, you'll recognize lots of the format here. So this idea of kind of 5 basic sort of tonal settings at the end here, your tuner built in, your memory locations, all these knobs along here to change the sound, add some effects in. Obviously these are all dedicated acoustic effects now. And then we've got a cool microphone input on the end here, which runs in conjunction with the regular guitar input, so you can sing along or plug an extra instrument in there if you want to. What are they hearing? How have we kind of set this up today, Mr. Ben?
Well, we've got obviously we've got these stereo pair of mics out the front because we're going to look at the kind of the width control. It's also got stereo DI output on the back, which we've got plugged in, which is great. And yeah, like you say, it's got these kind of the tone select, where instead of being amps or whatever like it might be on the electric version, it's dedicated to kind of microphone modelling.
So let's get into that then. So our first tone selector is modelling the tone of the tone of this acoustic guitar. So you've got this idea of a dry-wet control. So part of the sound of that guitar is just going into the amplifier and not being kind of modelled. Yeah. And part of the sound is going to be modelled as if we were using a condenser microphone. So
and if you turn it fully clockwise, then that's entirely the modelled signal, and fully counterclockwise is just the straight DI. Okay,
we're using it in its normal sort of width mode. It has this idea of wide and wider. I'll demonstrate that in a minute. Yep. Interestingly, I know on my THR30, the smaller the room and the lower you run it, the more effective the wideness thing is. Yeah. But in a fairly big room like this one, and we're running it reasonably loud, we've just got it on normal mode. But anyway, I'll demonstrate that. So here we go. Okay. Condenser with no, or sort of, guitar sound, but with no mic imaging. Okay. It's like, you definitely find your tone in the middle. It sounds a bit bizarre, fully wet, and it sounds a bit dry, fully dry. So somewhere in the middle is good. Yeah. We've got reverb coming out the amp. There are other effects, which I'll get to in a minute. But for now, I just want to go through the 5 basic sounds. So let's just move on to the dynamic one.
I'll play the same thing.
Lot less bass end on that one, isn't
Yeah,
there?
I mean, they describe it as being tighter sounding.
You'd sort of expect that. I suspect if you put an SM57 in front of your acoustic guitar versus a big condenser microphone, that's probably a reasonably accurate representation of what would happen. A tube microphone.
All right. subtle, isn't it?
There's an optimized setting for people with nylon string electroacoustics. So I guess we're going to use a steel string here, but I don't know what that's going to do. I guess optimized for that slightly more percussive sound that you get from a nylon string.
I guess
maybe?
so, yeah, I see.
Slightly useless part of the demo there, apologies about that. Of course, if you've got an acoustic guitar with an absolutely stellar built-in preamp system, maybe you've got some sort of top-of-the-range Fishman thing that's already doing mic modeling, all that kind of stuff, you can switch all of the sort of modeling off and just have a flat response.
Yeah.
So that's what we're on now.
And then the tone blend acts as a gain control in that mode, yeah. So.
Can I just say, I like the first one the best.
Me too.
So we're going to jump back to that.
Yeah.
I'll literally, perhaps if you do just play that, I'll do the EQ extremities.
Sure.
It really, there's no right or wrong with EQ. Depending on the room you're in and the guitar you're using and the tone that you like, you just, you find a sound that you like. But here we go.
Yeah.
You know what is kind of cool? And this I know from my Yamaha THR that I use. Regardless of where, you can basically set up, you can choose a tone selection, a blend, EQ, effects, everything. And once you've got that exactly how you want it, you just hold down one of the user presets, it'll save that to there. And maybe you've got 2 or 3 different guitars and each guitar sounds better on a different setting, or perhaps you play 2 or 3 different styles of music and again each style sounds better. So you can have up to 5 memory locations stored within the amplifier, and if you use the app you've got a library for an unlimited number of sounds that you can create and store. So once you're into that mode, it kind of becomes a bit of a crazy thing on visually, because then what you're hearing is not necessarily where the knobs actually are, that's where you set them. Let's do effects. So we've got a couple of reverbs in here, a short and a long. So let's go through those. If I just...
Yeah. Nice reverbs.
I'm always told off for putting too much reverb on. I do like the reverb in these. Very cool. We're then we got master volume, and the last 2 channels here work for the mic channel, so you've got a separate volume and a separate reverb for the mic channel, which is pretty cool.
What about the delay in the chorus and things as well?
I do apologise, of course I totally skipped that one out, well done. So again, we've got 3 modes of effect. I will show you on the app. I use the app for my electric guitar version of this. What I tend to do is I went into that first and actually found that I had you could definitely get better sounds because you had more control on the app, and then I would store what I wanted from the app here. So and then after that I just sort of tweak things a little bit. But
yeah, because there's things you can access in the app that aren't.
I'll go through that in a second. Well reminded. So here we go. This is broken into a chorus section, a chorus and delay section, and just delay. So whilst you play, I'll wind that in.
All right, loads of chorus. I'm out of time with my dad.
Sorry, I'll get you a shorter delay. Here we go.
So there's a tap actually. I can.
Go for it. One last feature to quickly go through, which we said we would, is this normal to wide to extra wide.
Yeah.
So we'll just get our basic sound again. You're hearing it in normal. This is one of those settings that you're probably going to need to either listen in headphones or have some speakers. I don't know how much difference this will make into just a single speaker on an iPhone or something, but who knows?
All right. So
here we go, normal. It's definitely, I think, volume. Again, if you were using this in some sort of live capacity, I think normal is what you'd go because it's a fuller sound, isn't it?
I would say so,
but
yeah.
I think, you know, at home messing around. I wonder how many people will buy these to use with things like the Yamaha silent guitars or something like that, you know, where there's no sense that the guitar makes any noise on its own.
I mean, particularly with the nylon string setting and stuff. It's,
yeah. Okay, so I'm going to whiz through the app. I'll screen record my phone so that you can kind of see what's happening. Hopefully no one will phone me during this part of the demo. We're on the app. Now you're basically just seeing my phone. You can see I can change the settings from here. And if I put my finger on and, you know, drag it over one of the controls, I'm dragging it over the blend control at the moment. You can see that going up and down. And it is literally just a question of scooting through the pages. Now you can see here why the app is so handy, because some of these things you can't do on the main panel. So the first page here is all available on the main panel. The second page though is doing some mic EQ adjustments, which you can't do on the, this is now talking about the microphone being plugged into the amplifier. Now obviously you don't have any EQ on the amplifier for that, but now you do have EQ here, and there's high pass filter as well. It's this control at the top here. Compressor. You don't have any access to a compressor on here, so it's like an extra bonus effect here. Again, switch it on and off. In fact, let's hear what that sounds like.
All
so
right.
Here's without. So yeah, if you want to tighten that whole sound up, compress it like that. Chorus you can see as well now. Instead of just sort of finding a spot on the knob that you like, you've got your speed, depth, etc., etc. So again, I can switch that on. Same idea with delay. You heard the delay in here. So again, the idea is you've just got more controls. You can see you've got the time, feedback, bass, treble mix, and the tap tempo. Same with the reverb. So once it's switched on, again, you can choose between a long and a short reverb, and you've got your decay, pre-delay, tone, and mix to control. And then over here, you've got your master volumes. Now, what's kind of cool about that, again, is you can see it's telling me that I didn't save that, so would I like to save it? And then when I do, again, I can choose to save it to one of these 5. Or, if I remember rightly, if I press this is the little microphone and guitar icon in the top left-hand control, you can see I can now save and load presets to a bigger library.
Very cool.
So that's a kind of a rundown of the knobs on the top.
Yes.
Mr. Ben. What else have we got on the THR?
It is compatible with the Line 6 wireless system. So if you don't want to have a cable between your guitar and your amp, you can just get the, is it the G10?
Little G10, it's a little bug, isn't it? About that big, and you plug it in your guitar. What's cool about the G10 is to charge the transmitter, you do just literally plug it in here, leave it plugged in, off it goes, it recharges. And yes, so there you are, you can use it wirelessly.
So that's cool. And if you want to use it completely wirelessly, it is rechargeable. So and you get 5 hours battery life.
Oh, that's
on it,
cool. So,
apparently.
you know, super handy buskers amplifier or little party amplifier.
Yeah. And also because it's got the Bluetooth audio as well as the Bluetooth interface, you can just play tunes through it on your phone.
as promised, here is its Bluetooth mode. So I'm now going to play one of the backing tracks from the Andertons backing track selection that you can find on Spotify or Apple Music if you want. And it's really for playing electric guitar over the top of, but Ben's going to just show you. So music's coming from my phone completely wirelessly into here. Ben is obviously plugged in. Here we go.
All right. So you can take it out in the summer, and yeah.
USB on the back.
USB on the back. So you
what
can
are we
use
doing
it,
with that?
You could use it as an interface. Comes with bundled with a copy of Cubase SE, I think, for laptop or tablet. So you can use it for your iPad or whatever.
I like it.
And access all the controls and stuff, as well as record onto it, which is great.
Well, I think there's only really two things left to do. One is to kind of talk. I've got a bit of a thing with acoustic guitar amplifiers.
Yeah.
In that, if you strum your acoustic guitar now, the whole point of an acoustic guitar is it makes a noise without an amplifier.
Yeah.
So you only really need an amplifier if you want to be a lot louder than that. Or I suppose if you want to start playing around with effects and bits and bobs like that.
A lot of people like a bit of reverb at home and stuff because it's cool,
But at 30 watts, is it loud? How much louder realistically is it? I mean, we're using it in here, and I'm sort of feeling like once this is running at half power, I can't hear your guitar anymore. I can only hear this. So it's obviously fairly loud, isn't it?
It is.
But would you've done hundreds and hundreds of gigs in your career.
Yeah.
What sort of size audience do you think something like this is appropriate for?
You could use it for a kind of small, like pub, restaurant, kind of wine bar-y type gig.
Background music stuff.
Background music or a gig or a kind of listening audience who are actually there to pay attention.
What?
I know. Remember them? They happen occasionally. But it's not going to replace a PA system. But if it's a small room and you want to just turn up and plug in and have some, backing tracks or whatever as well, it's super useful for that.
Presumably the line outputs on the back give you the option maybe to have this as a little onstage monitor.
Of course, yeah.
And give the sound man just the two outputs from the back, and then I suppose you are doing much louder gigs, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, lots of people, Tommy Emmanuel uses an amp for that very reason, and lots of people do the same thing. Not this amp, but you could do that, and it works, and it is pretty loud, and it sounds nice,
Yeah, I mean that's one of those things that's sort of impossible really on YouTube to try and demonstrate sort of relative loudness. But I think with the rechargeable batteries thing, it's absolutely loud enough for a busking amplifier.
Totally, yeah.
And I kind of think that Ben's summed it up exactly there. If you've got gigs where it is a restaurant or something, and the owner's gone, look, just if you can play quietly in the corner, please, that'd be great. Yeah. It's perfect. Or as you say, a sort of a small, maybe 40, 50 people who are there to just listen to you. Yeah. Fine. Okay, look, I think the mic input is worth, Ben sings as well as plays. In fact, go and plug your band, Ben, just in case someone wants to go and see it.
All right, well, I'm half of Smith & Brewer. The other half of Smith & Brewer is unfortunately not very well at the moment. So at the moment, I'm going out.
Get well soon.
Get well soon, Jimmy, but I'm on my own, which is fine. But yeah, I play all sorts of stuff. But Smith & Brewer, that's where we are.
All right, so we'll plug a microphone in, we'll have a bit of a play. I think during that final bit, we'll also annotate the screen between whether you're hearing the line outputs or whether you're hearing the microphones, because I'm sure that'll sound a bit different. But for the rest of the demo, you've just been hearing the microphones to try to give you an idea of what it sounds in the room. So there you go. Look, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. Oh, I tell you what Ben also found in the app that was super cool.
The best thing.
I didn't even know you could do this on the electric guitar one. Maybe you can't. Where was it? Is it in settings?
I think it might have been, yeah. There's a setting in there which is the most... Can we dim the lights in here?
There it is. Ready? Watch this.
Okay.
Can you see it? Yes, here we are. We're dimming the lights.
The full effect.
And here it goes. If you don't want the orange light, Or maybe you do want the orange light. I wonder who in Yamaha R&D, I bet there was like customer research, people going, oh, I didn't like the fact that, anyway. There we go.
Gives you that reliable orange glow of valves. That
absolutely, that orange glow of orange LEDs.
Yeah, non-existent valves.
So that's it. Thanks, Ben. Thanks for tuning in.
Pleasure.
I hope you liked this video. We'll put a link to where you can buy one of these in the description below. In the UK, these are £479. That excludes the little wireless bug. That's an optional extra. And unlike the guitar version of this, there's not like a 10-watt version.
The electric
guitar version. Sorry, yes, there's only the 30-watt version. I think there's still the little baby 5-watt one that's been in the catalogue forever and ever and ever.
I think so.
But that's a much older product and perhaps doesn't have all the functionality of this thing. But yes, there we are. Thank you very much, Ben, for coming in.
Pleasure.
And yes, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you soon.
See you next time.
It's a lovely day for doing nothing, for waking up and laying down. It's a lovely day for doing nothing. Nothing's what I'm doing now. I'll get round to things tomorrow. That's my motto every day. I'll get things fixed up by the weekend. But for now, here's where I'll stay. Today's no day to do the dishes. I won't need them anyway. Lately all my food's delivered in little boxes I forget to throw